The only way he can become king is if it comes down to either him or Meghan.
That civil rights must evolve as fast as the technology that threatens them.
Dymunod ffilnod, llawn o ddathlu, gyda theulu a ffrindiau.
The Saturday Night Live producers have just humiliated Meghan Markle in front of the woke mob again. We'll get to that shortly. But it's also Prince William and Catherine, the Princess of Wales, who are shaming the duplicitous duo with the release of a pitch-perfect joint statement in Welsh for St. David's Day as the fallout from the Montecito duo's rogue Middle Eastern fake royal tour grows. So as if they hadn't done enough damage over in Jordan, Harry and Meghan decided that this would be the weekend to burnish their hard left credentials further. As that one put it, two civil rights activists whose employees quit because they can't stand the bullying from the Duchess difficult. Yes, these two are the ones who are now claiming to support the new civil rights movement in America, a hard left, radical left, woke movement. But there were some moments of levity, as Nancy Sidley pointed out, when the video played at the NACCP awards do. Look at where the microphone happens to be. Now, here's the video. I want you to watch this closely because I'm going to talk to you about the woman who they are celebrating. I mean, this is a Meghan Markle style woman in a lot of ways. I don't believe Harry wrote the script. I don't believe what he's talking about, but it's highly disturbing, given you know this is a dude who doesn't believe in freedom of speech. And what he's now trying to do is say that freedom of speech is only freedom of speech if freedom of speech serves a particular subset of people, presumably him. Watch.
We launched this award with the NAACP because we believe that the fight for civil rights didn't end at the doorstep of the digital world. It begins there. And since then, we've honoured 4 extraordinary women. Dr. Sophia Noble, Nabia Syed, Dr. Joy Bonwini, and Dr. Alondra Nelson.
We are incredibly proud of our partnership with NAACP and of what this award represents, that civil rights must evolve as fast as the technology that threatens them.
This year's recipient is someone whose work I find genuinely inspiring, a groundbreaking legal scholar, author, and president of the Cyber Civil Rights Initiative. Her book, Fearless Speech, asks a question that I think matters now more than ever. When powerful people and powerful platforms claim to champion free speech, whose freedom are they actually protecting? Dr. Franks makes the case, and I think she's right, that true free speech should serve democracy, not the interests of those who would dismantle it.
It is our honor to announce that the 2026 NAACP Archwell Digital Civil Rights Award goes to Dr. Marianne Franks, a fearless woman at the forefront of the modern civil rights movement. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Oh, it's so weird in so many ways. The body language is awful. But there was one line from Harry I wanted to pick up there. Free speech, not in the interest of those who want to dismantle it. That's what you're doing, Harry. Anyway, so Nancy Sidley did some good research and found the lady that Harry and Meghan were giving this made-up fake award to. And surprise, surprise, she's an extremist. Watch.
I'm going to quote your words. Taken together, these 2 cases demonstrate that the Supreme Court has embraced the use of the Constitution as a tool of racial patriarchy. Did you say that?
Yes.
Okay. And then you went on to say, when the Supreme Court declares that there is a constitutional right to armed self-defense in public, it openly embraces and promotes a culture that privileges white men's ability to terrorize and kill those that they perceive as threats. Did I read that correctly?
I believe so. Thank you for reading.
Okay. And did you also say in that article, by simultaneously expanding white men's right to kill and constricting women's right not to die, this Supreme Court has turned the Constitution into a homicide pact as well, close quote. Did you write that?
That sounds like me.
So, they're celebrating an anti-white racist. Makes sense, doesn't it? As they keep their princely titles.
Tonight on The Crown Report, Meghan Markle is back in the spotlight after being referenced in a sharp comedy sketch on Saturday Night Live, while Prince Harry faces renewed criticism over his recent political positioning. The SNL segment, known for its biting satire, reignited debate online, with social media split between those who saw the sketch as a harmless comedy and those who viewed it as another blow to the Duchess's public image. At the same time, Prince Harry is drawing scrutiny from critics who argue that his increasingly vocal stances on political and social issues are pushing him into controversial territory. Supporters say he is simply advocating for causes he believes in, while detractors claim his approach risks deepening divisions. Teaming up with the Royal News Network, we examine how satire, politics, and public perception are intersecting once again for the Sussexes, and whether these moments have a lasting impact or simply fuel another fast-moving news cycle. In today's media climate, narrative can shift quickly. The key question is whether this is a temporary flare-up or part of a broader reputational challenge. For balanced royal analysis and the latest updates, subscribe to The Crown Report. Like this video to support independent commentary, and share your thoughts respectfully in the comments below.
Of course, they were shamed by the true work of real royalty, Prince William and Catherine, the Princess of Wales, who released her first video speaking in Welsh, and boy, she did good.
I bawb yng Nghymru, dydd gwyl dawi hapus iawn.
Mae Cymru yn agos iawn at ein colonnau, ac rydyn yn edrych ymlaen at bob ymweliad.
Mae'n wlad hyfryd gyda hanes cyfoethog a phobl wych.
Dymunod ffylnod, llawn o ddathlu, gyda theulu a ffrindiau.
And what's really interesting is people are talking about the contrasting body language between William and Catherine, who just know how to perform as a duo, and Harry and Meghan, where there is always some sort of awkward, uncomfortable tension between the two of them, which I think you could definitely see there. You see how Meghan is so determined to have her shoulder in front of Harry's. But Brittany from the Royal News Network, who joins me now, I should say. I just need to introduce you, Brittany, first. But I've been so desperate to talk to you about this because it's like, this is the hardening position of Prince Harry and Meghan Markle, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. It really is, Dan. They are very much anti-free speech if it doesn't serve them. And when it comes to Catherine and William, I mean, obviously the comparisons are just so rife for the picking because Catherine and William, of course, their body language mimics each other, even when they're not looking at each other. There's sort of a famous picture where they're standing with their backs to each other, but they each have their hands in their back pocket. And so you can tell just as a couple, they are very much in sync. Whereas Harry and Meghan, it's always a battle for dominance because Harry, yes, has ceded dominance to Meghan, but at the same time, he sort of regrets that and sometimes wants it back. And so I think there's always a level of resentment and tension between them because their relationship is not made of equals. It's not made of mutual respect. Meghan, I don't think, respects Harry at all. And she only really wants him for his title. I don't think in some ways he respects her all that much. And so you see just such a contrast within the couple. But especially when it comes to the matter of free speech, Harry and Meghan are just so anti it if it doesn't serve them that it's incredibly dangerous. I mean, Harry is the guy who called the First Amendment bonkers in the United States. He doesn't understand what true governance looks like, what true democracy looks like. I mean, if Harry and Meghan had their way, they'd be living in an authoritarian monarchy where they are the authorities. So it's just such a obvious contrast.
It is a total contrast. And what do you make of the fact that Harry and Meghan now seem to be going all in on this hard left ideology? Because you've obviously got the Hamas talking points that they were criticised in the Middle East for. And this woman is anything but someone who's on the mainstream. It's almost as if they have realised that their only base now is the hard left extremist base.
And Dan, that is such a bad mistake for Harry and Meghan, because I feel like so much of the cultural movement right now is actually against the hard left. People are getting sick of the woke ideology, DEI, and these sorts of things. And people want to go back to meritocracy. You know, you get awarded based on your achievements, not on the color of your skin or anything else. And so I think Harry and Meghan going hard line here. We always have known this is sort of what Meghan believes. Harry, I don't think knows anything really when it comes to politics. He thinks he knows, but The Guardian very cleverly avoided talking about his politics. But when it comes to, especially in the United States, being middle of the road, actually not talking about politics, when you look at the celebrity culture, especially, those are the celebrities that are doing the best right now. Hollywood is failing in part because it went so hard left that it almost can't go back. And people in the middle or just people on the right are just completely and utterly tuning out. The industry itself is dying, and Harry and Meghan should take those clues and go in a different direction. And of course, they can't seem to.
No, what I just love is him trying to justify why, yeah, I believe in free speech, but only for the people who aren't going to slag me off. Not for us. Brittany, I mean, we should be gone. We're just a danger, okay? Shut down the social media platforms that are going to report on him honestly. But obviously, the people who support us on the hard left, they should have free speech. What the problem for Harry is, though, is that even in the mainstream now, there has been such a serious turn. SNL, Saturday Night Live, and the Weekend Update for the second time roasting Meghan Markle. This is gonna hurt. Watch.
Andrew Mountbatten Windsor, the former prince and current river corpse, has been arrested and now may be banned from ever taking the throne. In fact, the royal family said the only way he can become king is if it comes down to either him or Meghan.
Now, Brittany, I have to say, it's my birthday today, and that was like the greatest birthday present I could have received. I woke up this morning, I had been really busy yesterday, so I hadn't seen it all, and I just giggled and giggled and giggled because, I mean, there's always a serious side to the SNL comedy. I don't usually agree with it because it's very left-wing, but effectively what they're saying here is that, yep, we agree, Meghan Markle, less popular than Andrew Mountbatten Windsor.
Yes, that's what they're saying, Dan. And happy birthday.
Thank you.
This little SNL skit, though, is just this Weekend Update is hysterical because it's so true. And this is what works about comedy is when it's true. And we all know that, yes, people would maybe prefer in some ways Andrew over Meghan Markle when it comes to the throne. And if Hollywood is even making jabs at her, you know she's offended a lot of people. We know she hasn't done good work in the entertainment industry. And people are taking notice. People are noticing, hey, that, yeah, Meghan Markle may have this title, but nobody really likes her. Nobody buys her stuff. And so we have this situation here where it's just so rife and so perfect. And yeah, even the SNL host, I think it's Colin there, just got a huge giggle himself out of that. He thought it was quite funny. And that tells you a lot if you can make the SNL hosts break. That's really good.
Indeed. And look, one of the reasons they never get things right is because every single public appearance or tour seems to get genuinely more creepy. And that's the thing about the trip to the Middle East. It wasn't just disastrous. It was creepy, Brittany, on a whole load of levels. And I want to present some evidence to you of this. First, Nancy Sidley dug out this picture and wrote, when divorce is coming and you don't want to get taken out of the photos on a later date, because could you see she was just constantly grabbing Harry throughout this video. And lots of times he was rejecting her hand. And then the veil between us also came up with these two pictures and said the expression on their faces says it all. And again, she is grabbing hold of him and he just has no interest. And the body language is so significant. I mean, I think back to the days of then Prince Charles and Princess Diana when their marriage was collapsing. And actually, it was on those foreign tours where people really understood it. But there was also other just disrespectful behavior from Meghan. Look at this from Meghan's mole, who found a particular moment and pointed out while everyone in the room was listening to the words of Princess Basma bint Talal, who is the aunt of King Abdullah, Meghan was too busy ignoring the prominent royal figure to make sure she was staring at the camera and smiling. This is how Meghan shows respect to all the royals. And according to Taz, who looked at that picture, said, of course she wasn't listening to anyone. She has the most important voice in the room in her own head. Her ability to track the camera honestly makes me think of the Terminator. It's like she has a tracker tracker in her head. Beep, beep, beep. Target acquired. And Brittany, we are learning via Prawl of Frolic that the Middle Eastern tour infuriated Prince William. Although in some ways, Brittany, could you argue that in some ways it just enhanced William and Catherine, because this tour was a mess? And I've even seen people who are pretty sympathetic to Prince Harry and Meghan say, it's a mess. Like, what were they trying to promote? Like, was this a pro-Hamas thing? Was this an anti-Israel thing? Was it a pro-mental health thing? Was it a pro-amputee thing? It was just a mess.